Yeah, that's not good. We are officially on the road. This is going to be a fun trip. I'm really excited for this. This little Pontiac 5, I gotta say, is a pretty awesome little machine. It's extremely useful, hauls a lot of stuff. It's fun to drive. This is gonna be the first time I've ever done one of these 2500s in something that's actually fun. The last two I did were in my my 94 Volvo wagon. It's a turbo, but it made like 120 horsepower at the tires, and you know, not exactly fun. Very useful vehicle for a road trip, but not fun. So this thing being a 6-speed, being considerably more sporty, on wheels and tires, upgraded brakes, this should be a lot more fun experience. I'm pretty excited about this. Unfortunately, driving through you know, central and southern Ohio looks a lot like this for like 100 miles or so. So there's not really going to be much to show you. I'm very excited to be back on the road again and to be able to share this experience with some friends. This is our third year doing this. We had a little bit of a break through the plague years, obviously, so getting back out on the road is going to be a lot of fun. And it's really fun to be able to bring along people that have never done this kind of a road trip. A lot of times when you do road rallies and things, it's very limited as far as who can and can't go on it because it's a kind of expensive experience. This is kind of the antithesis of that. These are not expensive cars. None of us have spent a bunch of money on them. We're just a bunch of friends going out having a good time going on a road trip. So I'm really excited for this. Hopefully you guys are enjoying yourselves. It looks like we're going to have some really excellent weather. We're going to have some excellent roads to drive on. Doing the Tail of the Dragon tomorrow. We're going to do all the way down to Helen, Georgia. We're going to do the Blood Mountain Road. We're going to do the Devil's Whip in North Carolina on the way back up. Sorry, Florida, you don't really have any interesting roads, but the good thing about it is Cletus McFarland at the Freedom Factory does happen to be hosting the winter warm-up while we're down there. So, luckily for us, we're going to be able to go see some stuff at Cletus's place. So, super excited for it. This little Vibe, I got to tell you, I'm super happy with it. It's not an expensive car. I ended up buying this car for just shy of $2,000. My VVTI fix was free. I put wheels and tires on it. The wheels we already had. The tires were $400 from Tire Rack. They're a 300 treadwear tires, so they should be pretty good in the twisties. They're not super happy when it's really cold outside, but once they get warmed up, they do feel really nice and they're balanced out really well. So I'm real happy. Heat works, which is nice. Technically speaking, the air conditioning works. I might even have to use that if we get some decent weather down in Florida, but otherwise, time to put some miles on these things and let's roll.
We're about 14 miles from Meyer at the moment. I am just really excited to be going. We have our walkie-talkies, our Midlands, which seem to be working really well. I got those charged up last night, so all four of us have one and we can communicate as needed.
So how many hours we got of this right here?
Pigeon Forge.
Pigeon? No, we're going to Lexington or something like that first, right?
Oh, Lexington.
Yeah.
Let's say probably 3 hours. I don't know what Lexington is. You got working cruise control?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Jim does not.
Jim does not?
No, his does not work.
That's wonderful. Now I have to say, if I was going to take any car on these roads that we're about to be on, it probably wouldn't be the angry Pontiac Toyota craziness. But I guess there's something about being on the limit, even though you're on the limit on a go-kart.
Yeah. Never even been in Phil's one. With all the modifications he has.
Phil's? Well, I don't know. I've been in the Austins and his just screamed like an angry go-kart.
Yeah, Jim's this morning also screamed like an angry go-kart. That thing is bone stock.
Sorry, I was monologuing. Did I miss anything?
You messed up my monologuing.
Nah, you didn't.
hopefully we're working. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully this is good and we're actually recording, but now we're finally in a row on the road. And we'll see how this turns out. This is nothing more than really a test video, and God, this car is noisy and creaky. But I'm stuck with it the next 5 days. So here we go.
Fortunately, nothing exciting to report on the dash. Cruising along. Temps are good. Check engine light is still burning. You know, with that P0420 code that it always has. Well, we're in Cincinnati and something is not happy. I don't know if you can hear that, but something is definitely not happy. Oh, that's a wheel or a brake that's loose, or something is not happy on this thing. It feels like it's my left front corner. Yeah, that's not good. Alright, we're pulling off the highway here. That's not good. Stay tuned.
We already have a problem. Barely made it to Cincinnati.
Well, one of the hazards of aftermarket wheels, and especially with Chinesium lug nuts, is they don't necessarily seat that well. And again, these are not perfectly hub-centric, so they do have a tiny little bit of vibration if I don't get them perfectly mated. This side seems fine. This side, not so much. That one I can take off by hand. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and give these things a little bit more of an ugga-dugga. I'm guessing the sound I was hearing was my wheel trying to remove itself from my car. So we don't have a torque wrench, so we're gonna go with one ugga-dugga. Yeah, that's probably fine. How about this one? Oh yeah, that one's loose too. Yeah, let's give that one an ugga-dugga too. Oh, that one's loose too. That could have been bad. Okay, well, I'll check all the rest of these and we'll get on the road.
Nobody has the factory torque wrench for the spare wheel?
Yeah.
Knew I was feeling something. But like, man, this thing just doesn't feel like it's quite as good as it should be.
Didn't look like anything was wrong on the road when we passed you, but sorry for the footage. Still new to this gimbal.
No, you're fine. All right, so should be good for another couple hundred miles. Onward. Let's go to Kentucky. It's over that way. Put a 19 on this.
And then
This wheel's about to fall off, so we have to tighten it up real quick.
So
We're on a road
this
trip.
is not the place to do that.
Well, we're done, so.
We're good.
Yep. We're on our way.
Okay, quick update. What was it, 95 miles? 94.6 miles and man down already. Looks like the double wang of Mr. Austin's vehicle's wheels might not want to stay on the car. Now, he's not driving the wheels off the car, they're just coming off the car, so. Crisis averted, I guess.
All right, so crisis averted. Wheel didn't fall off car. Again, not super impressed with the Chinesium lug nuts, especially given the fact that I'm going to be going down to a whole bunch of twisties on the side of a mountain. Gonna definitely be checking those lug nuts pretty often. Oh well, and positive thing, hey, welcome to downtown Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati campus. Thanks to the Cincinnati Public Schools parking lot for allowing us to spend a couple moments making sure my wheel didn't fall off, and then coming over to yell at me about fixing my car so my wheel didn't fall off. Whatever. It's gonna be a great trip. It's gonna be a great trip. I'm glad everybody's coming along. Thanks guys for coming along and signing up for this stupidity with me. Paul, Travis, Phil, Jim, I'm glad you guys are along with me on this one. This is gonna be a fun time. I promise I won't be a total pain in the neck every 100 miles needing to stop and fix my car. Alright, we're back in the hunt, boys. Wheels not coming off, making horrible sounds anymore. Hopefully I didn't damage the bore at all from the wheel walking about. Totally didn't. Totally didn't. It's good to find. 71 South, here we go.
Well, it looks like they got stuck just about every damn light. So, here we go. Slow as I can. Alright, so I literally can't go any slower. I'm doing about 40. So,
We just came through under the tunnel on 71.
okay, so I just got out of the tunnel. So now I am headed to the right around onto the big bridge towards Lexington.
All right, you are a half a mile ahead of me. I see you from here.
Okay, cool. I will keep puttering along and pissing people off.
Yep,
All
you're right there.
See you, bye.
Thanks for the hospitality, Cincinnati. Ohio River, muddy water. Everybody, welcome to Kentucky. Fortunately, my wheel's no longer falling off. It feels much better.
Alright, Austin over here lost his phone, so we have to stop again. Probably made it about like 4 or 5 X's from where this wheel is a little loose. Plus we got to kick out the front.
Well, it looks like we made it all of about 20 minutes across the border into Kentucky just for Austin to now have lost his phone. Progress.
And Jim's sticker flew off. Can't see the imprint. So while they're taking a piss, I'm gonna put a new sticker on.
Okay, update number 2. Mile marker 104, 5 maybe. Lead car with the wing had to stop again. We might make it on this whole trip. Shenanigans. Complete shenanigans.
I was ramping off of 270 onto 23 on the south end, and
Just came straight off?
right hand exit. I started hitting the off ramp.
And it went.
I looked in the rear. I could see in the rearview mirror. I saw my lug nuts go. Doo, 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 doo. Wheel came off. Car fell down like an inch, and it rode the barrel of the drum brake on the barrel of the wheel for like 200 feet onto the side of the road.
Oh my God, you got lucky.
Wheel was not attached at all. He was literally just grinding into the barrel of the wheel. Yeah, that was a good experience.
That is not.
Did find 3 of my lug nuts though.
In case you're wondering why I'm not peeling the sticker anymore, I gave up and gave it to Austin.
Yeah, this one sucks.
They're total pain.
Well, it's a lot worse when it's cold too. Wow. So this one just keeps bringing paper with it. Yeah, no kidding. So much traffic. Come on, VVTI, here we go. Go, baby, go! I do love this little car. Well, now that we're in Kentucky, and I made the next stop because I couldn't find my work cell phone. It had fallen into the cavern that exists below these seats. Back on the road again. So that's 2 stops for me. No stops for anybody else. But I'm not vibrating anymore at highway speeds, which is good. Other nice thing is this section of Kentucky is all divided highway and 4 lanes wide. So good for making up time. We are headed to Lexington, specifically Man of War Boulevard, which is about an hour-ish that away. I hopefully won't have anything else to report between here and there. It is up to 37 degrees now. Still cold. Oh, and Jim lost half of his livery stickers because it's cold out, and he waxed the heck out of his car, and stickers do not like sticking to wax. So, other than that, and my small issues, life is good.
All right, 71 has officially split off, so for those of you who were with us on the Hot Rod Power Tour, you may know that we are coming up to an exit that that has a bit of a rough history for me, at least, in a Pontiac, no less. If you didn't, I'm just going to paraphrase or cliff note it with you. I do recommend checking the video out at some time, because there are still days that I think I'm suffering some PTSD from that event, where the mechanical fuel pump on the 1970 Le Mans that I drove for the Hot Rod Power Tour had given up, and basically when it did, we couldn't find replacement parts. So Austin had this amazing faith of, hey, we're gonna get it done, we're gonna finish this trip, and we ended up wiring in a electric pump to feed some fuel. And
Paul, you doing all right back there? Yeah, we just don't have any bumpy music, so we can't go stop 80.
And ultimately,
Yeah, put on the influence music to go faster. Let's go. Maybe a bit of a technical issue here with the music. We're getting it sorted out.
I'm just monologuing. Yeah, so we did ultimately get it to work by using a physical switch on the fuel pump, and Austin, like many road trips, got a bunch of fuel in his face, and it was a very interesting time. So all in all, much better luck with Pontiacs at this point, as we have now passed that exit. So check in soon.
All right, so roll call, Vibers. Who has a check engine light on? I do.
I will always have a check engine light on this because I am not ripping the fuel system apart. That light has been in off. You guys can take it to Bruce Winning.
Also, that Subaru, if it throws a check engine light, is going to be a whole lot more angry than the Vibe is. Well, welcome to the outskirts of Lexington, Kentucky. Apparently they're doing road construction out here. I will say that I do love driving through Kentucky. This run down 71, 75 is almost always beautiful, at least at this point in time. Beautifully easy to get through. Very little traffic issues, very little construction issues. Big fan. So far, halfway done with the day, halfway done with the tank of fuel. You know, other than the fact that my wheel almost fell off, I'm pretty happy with how the Vibe's doing. Heat works fine, charging's going fine, it's comfortable, doesn't have any problems, radio works. I don't have any Bluetooth because it's, you know, 2003 and that wasn't a thing. I don't have an auxiliary input. I've got a CD player, but I don't have a CD, so you know, it is what it is. It's a good old car. I'm pretty happy with it. I am going to check my lug nuts again. I'm a little nervous, to be honest with you. I'm a little nervous now that we've had that issue, that it's not going to be a permanent fix. I already was a little upset with those Chinesium lug nuts to begin with. They're just not good quality, and I mean, like I said, the video from doing the brakes, they've been on this car for a week and they're already rusting. And they're clearly not holding a clamp either, so you know, we may end up running to an auto parts store and see if I can find something slightly better than those lug nuts and see if they'll hold better. I don't know, we'll see. So far so good. I'll check when we're going to stop here in just a minute for lunch. I'll check when we leave and make sure that my lug nuts are all still tight. I guess that's just going to be part of the process now. So anyway, time for lunch. Let's see where Phil picks us to go. Where is Phil going to choose to eat on Man of War Boulevard? There's everything down here. Everything is down here. My guess is going to be Old Chicago Pizza, because it's right there. And Phil likes some Chicago pizza. Let's see if I'm right. I do know that man. I do know him well. Well, excellent choice for lunch, Philly. Yummy, yummy pizza. Full of lots of sweet tea and pizza. Gonna make a quick stop across the street from here. The reason I always stop on Man of War Boulevard is the liquor barn is right over yonder. And it's Thursday, which if my memory serves me correctly, is the day they have their allocations that come in. So I could find me some hard to find whiskeys and bourbons, depending on what part of the country you're coming from. So we're gonna make a quick little side trip. Might get some gas. I'm a little below half tank. I think everybody's in the same range. But it's 39 degrees and gray skies. We're all full. Travis and Paul are both about ready to fall asleep. But we're soldiering on. We'll be back with you guys momentarily. Well, we successfully scored some things at the adult store. That one there. That kind of an adult store. That's not part of this show. Phil, did you get anything?
No.
No?
Case of water.
Case of water, good. Yeah, we all got lots of waters. Anyway, sun is starting to fade. It is 4:30. We've got about 3 more hours of driving to go. So, hi ho, back on 75 we go. That way. Blending. Well, unfortunately, with our long lunch, pizza, and cheesy things, and all that fun stuff, we wasted another hour. Plus, we were about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours late getting on the road. So we are a bit behind schedule. Initial arrival in Pigeon Forge was looking around 4-ish. Looks like currently we're looking around 7-ish. So that's all right. It's not like we're in a major hurry. There's nothing we absolutely have to do when we get there. But the nice thing again with this Kentucky highway here is it's a divided highway, 3 lanes wide. So
something I wanted to talk about, because people are probably wondering, like, why a Pontiac Vibe GT? Well, here's the thing. It's the GT part that really makes the difference. If you've driven a standard Pontiac Vibe, how do I put this? It's a boring car. The GT is completely different. It is the Mr. Hyde to the Dr. Jekyll that is the vanilla ice cream with no sprinkles that the regular Vibe is.
This is a police officer man behind me, I assume? Yes, there's one cop.
We're not driving erratically or anything along those lines. But, anytime you see Johnny Law behind you, you always just question, like, is everything legit? Did I do something wrong? Someone robbed the corner store in a Buick Skylark and think that it was a Pontiac. I got that reversed, didn't I? That's alright. My cousin Vinny fans, you know what I'm talking about. The sack of suds. Coming back to the Vibe GT, and what makes the GT different from the standard Vibe. The GT was available only in a 6-speed manual. It is a very close ratio 6-speed manual, as I am currently doing 76 miles an hour, and we are right at 3,500 RPMs in 6th. This engine is a VVTi, which basically means it's got variable valve timing. It kicks in for the full 180 horsepower and rolls that through the 8,250 RPM red line. So to say that this thing screams, you gotta drive it like you hate it, but it's happy when you do. On top of that, the Vibe GT had a stiffer suspension. It was about a ½ inch lower than the standard Vibe. The springs definitely have tighter tension to them, as the interior of these cars is primarily plastic, like everything was in the early 2000s. It rattles, it creaks, it makes noises that make you wonder, is this thing gonna fall apart in front of me, underneath me, whatever it may be? But man, is it kind of fun to drive. This car from the factory was 22 miles per gallon in the city. 28 miles per gallon on the highway on the new EPA testing standards. So, which checks out pretty well. It is premium fuel only. So I was looking for something inexpensive. I wanted something with a manual transmission. I was looking for something reliable, and I saw really how Phil's had turned out, and I was like, you know what, that would be a good vehicle. Why not? Let's give it a shot. Found this one on Facebook Marketplace, test drove it. The place I bought it from, it was not cleaned inside or out by any means. It does have some body rust, mostly surface. There are some paint issues. The hood, I don't know if the previous owner was a massive tailgater or what, but just the paint is gone. Paul, you see that Z? That is sexy.
I got it on camera.
My dude. Amazingly enough, do have the original window sticker in the glove box. The MSRP was right basically at $20,000, which when you think about it, not too bad. If you've never driven one, if you find one, I do definitely encourage you to check it out. The 2ZZ is the same engine that they put in the Matrix XRS, the very, very rare and hard to find Corolla XRS, the Toyota Celica GTS, not to be confused with the GTs. The GT did not get the cool engine. Easiest way to tell, the GTS was a 6-speed manual only. Also, the GTs you could get in an automatic or a 5-speed. And they were also in multiple different Lotus vehicles. The Lotus Elise, the Elise S that had a supercharger, the Exige and the Exige S all had a version of the 2ZZ supercharged, which would be really cool as well.
It is a shame that our weather is a little, a lot overcast. This is actually a beautiful area of the world. Now it is, the dead of winter, so a lot of the trees are not carrying any kind of leaves or anything, but the run down through this direction, from Lexington all the way down to like the Knoxville area, my family's historically all from East Tennessee, so I've made this run 100 times. It's absolutely beautiful. We're gonna stop for gas here on this side of Jellicoe Mountain, and the blast up Jellicoe Mountain's really nice. Beautiful views down into the valley, and then we'll top over into Tennessee. And a couple, 100 more miles or so to go, and we're done. But I've got about a little less than a quarter of a tank of gas left. We've picked up a little bit of time. We're doing all right, and I need to clean up my windshield because it's getting a little road gross. So, stop for some fuel, see what our fuel economy is. Should be interesting to know. And we'll keep on soldiering on into the night. Probably about an hour's worth of sunlight left or so. Yeah, about an hour.
That's just terrible.
Well, for those of you who are interested in that kind of thing, fuel economy wise, Phil and I are basically spot on, both at 27 miles per gallon, which is not bad given we were doing a little bit of spirited driving for a bit of that stretch. Jimmy's just behind that on his at 26 and a half. His is maybe not necessarily as questionably maintained as mine, but possibly as questionably maintained as mine. And Paul in the Subaru Legacy GT, I think he was at 24, right on the number, 24.1. So Phil and I are both in the 27 range. I was at 27.17, which I could certainly do better than that. If I were wanting to hypermile this thing, would not be hard at all to get to 30 miles per gallon. Anyway, more driving to do. Sun is fading. Let's get back on the road again. Like a band of weirdos, let's get on the highway.
Alrighty, so we are, about 300 miles at this point. 291 from our fueling point. Just stopped off in Corbin, Kentucky Williamsburg, Kentucky to fuel up for the second time. I'm averaging just over 26 miles per gallon. Which we feel is probably about accurate for this car based upon the condition. I do have a PO 420 code. Have no idea what the catalytic converter looks like. I'll be honest, I haven't looked at the air filter either, so no idea what kind of condition that was in. Probably not the best idea. We officially have just entered Tennessee. You got to enter it with me. The vibe is still doing phenomenally. The heat will burn you out of this car very quickly, which at 38 degrees is kind of nice to know that you've got good, reliable heat.
Well, folks, welcome to Tennessee. Back yonder a little ways, we did see a sign over the interstate that says caution, dense fog ahead, which in this case means clouds are on the mountain. And as you can see, we are driving into said clouds, as we're going to have to drive up on Jellicoe up over the top, which means we're going to go into the clouds, which should be pretty, which probably won't mean we can see anything. on a sunnier day. This is a beautiful drive. But anyway, welcome to Tennessee. Well, the mountain part's over. Made it past Jellicoe Mountain and Rocky Top, Tennessee. Yeah, that Rocky Top. Barreling on our way down to Knoxville.
We just went up 10 degrees Fahrenheit outside in about 10 minutes.
And apparently it's now warmer. It's now 45 degrees. Isn't that nice? So, yeah, lights failing. It's a little after 6. We've got another about an hour or so to drive to get into Pigeon Forge. Essentially got to get to Knoxville and kind of do one of these little doogies over in the Sevierville area, then Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area. If anybody who's been to the Pigeon Forge area knows that there's a lot to do there. We're hoping to roll into town and have a few things that we can entertain ourselves with for the evening. And then we'll wrap it up on our first day. But so far so good. Positive news is no more issues with the Vibe. So far my left front wheel has stayed attached to the car. It has not complained and wanted to leave at all. So that's good. New brakes are happy. I'm really happy with the new brakes. They're not real noisy. They're not chattery. They're not nearly as dusty as I would have expected them to be. So happy with my power stop brakes. Tires are great. Everything else is great. So that's great. All right, 6:40. We're gonna kind of do the little bypass around Knoxville. I would prefer to not drive into downtown Knoxville and do the 75 to 40 jog. No thank you. It is a work day, and it is still sort of rushy hour in Knoxville. So just bounce around the outside. VVTI, here we go! Well, folks, welcome to Pigeon Forge. Lots to do, lots to see, lots of places to stay. A bastion of activity and entertainment in Eastern Tennessee. Look, there's even a Cracker Barrel back there, so Bill, you'd be comfortable. Now, one thing many of us did learn recently is they're very serious about speeding here in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So behave yourself. Any of this downtown stuff is 25 miles an hour, and they mean it. Not saying a certain somebody got pulled over in Gatlinburg, Tennessee just a few days ago, but it does happen. Be careful. Very pedestrian area. Now this is off season, so it's not that big of a deal. Not nearly as many people out walking around, but this is a heavily walked area. Phil, how are you enjoying those joints?
Pretty terrible, man. Like at one point in time, it was so loud it was deafening. This video is going to be kind of interesting because I've been shooting with the action cam pretty much most of this evening. So we'll see how it looks and sounds. Damn, $20. Holy shit. We're trying this one. Yeah, this one's 22. Whatever.
Thank you. Please drive ahead.
How appropriate is that? singing Tennessee Whiskey when we walk up. All right, folks, we're going to end the night here. It is 11 o'clock at night. We are in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, which was not exactly where we planned on being, but worked out really well. Huge thanks to Steve here at Mellow Mushroom, right outside of the Old Smoky, who happened to have 2 AA batteries because I didn't remember to buy these at the gas station, and Steve hooked me up. So now I can power up my drone tomorrow, and we can try some drone stuff. Aha! Very exciting. One of my takeaways today, I have never driven a stick shift car for a long period of time that has no torque. Learning to drive on twisty mountain roads on a car that doesn't make low-end torque. Everything I've ever driven that was a stick shift was either a V8 or a Turbo 4 or a Turbo 6. I've never driven a high-revving NA 4-cylinder for a long period of time with a stick shift car. So that was a lot of getting used to. Super fun car. I'm really excited about driving the twisties tomorrow. I'm definitely going to check my torque specs on my lug nuts tomorrow. Yep. And hopefully we're going to keep all the wheels and tires on my car.
Yes, lest you not want trees or cliffs. Or
Right. I don't want to be a statistic.
Yeah.
So that's the idea for tomorrow. You can finally see, I'll show you a photo from earlier. You can actually finally see at the very top of the mountain. That was all hidden in clouds earlier today when we got here. It's actually a really beautiful night. This is a really nice night down here. It's like 45 degrees, a little bit of light rain, but I wouldn't even call it rain, like drizzle, fog. It's a wonderful night. So that's the end of night 1. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching. We're enjoying our trip so far. It's a great time. I bought a bunch of stuff that we're not going to talk about on the channel, but I'm super excited about it. It was a good time. Got some good food in our stomachs. We got to get back to wherever the heck we're staying hotel-wise. We haven't figured that out yet either. And then we're going to start tomorrow morning off. I think Travis wants to do some trout fishing in the morning. Maybe that. Ripley's movie cars thing is literally right there. Might do that in the morning. And then we've got the Tail of the Dragon and Blood Mountain Road down to Helen, Georgia, and all that fun stuff. So it's going to be a great day. We're going to have a lot of good driving, a lot of great roads. Very excited about it. So thanks for being here, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Welcome to the 2500 road trip for 2023, our spring trip. We're headed down south even further to get warmer and even better weather. Very excited about that. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Take care. So, I get to take a hot shower in the morning?
Maybe.
Uh-huh.
There's a possibility. Tell us which one you want. I still have it.
I say by
I
the
haven't
night.
used it, so.
I say right here just a little while.
What's my last one?
We'll have the water on.
Yeah.
This guy says bye tonight.
Oh, okay.
What we're trying to do right now is isolate the room that's leaking from all the other rooms in the hotel so we can turn the rest of the homework back on.
You're not giving me a room on that floor, right?
Oh yeah, you're going into the problem room.
We'll see you tomorrow.
How many vehicles do we have?
4.